Welcome back. Another episode of No Cap Sports, man. I'm Nick. I got the guys here with me. Aaron Glenn, super fan Josh, my guy Unc Vance down in the corner. And of course, we got my guy TJ, the only running back I ever seen go first touch like Saquon, man. Hashtag on God, bro. On God.
He been doing this. I feel that. He popping. Yeah, for sure. I feel that. Young
Not that
killer.
on God. Young Peelers. But bro, I say, obviously we just coming off a great conference championship weekend, great football. We got a Super Bowl matchup set, Eagles versus Chiefs. But first, let's take a look back at these conference championship games. And I gotta ask you, Vance, looking at these games, especially that NFC championship game, and seeing your division rival, the Eagles, rush for more touchdowns in a playoff game than y'all did all season. How did that make you feel as a Cowboy fan, man?
I mean, it's a little embarrassing because you know somebody gonna hit you up in the group chat always talking about it. But either way it go, they not gonna win the Super Bowl, so they gonna have just many Super Bowls as we won this year. So at the end of the day, it's all just talk.
It's all just talk, but through the playoffs, Saquon has amassed 442 rushing yards, seven touchdowns, another dominant performance on Saturday. But I think one of the biggest takeaways from that game had to be Jalen Hurts, who arguably had his best performance in the playoffs so far. So just looking at this Philly offense, did Jalen Hurts' performance give y'all some confidence in that passing game that is woken up?
I want to hear TJ first because he's been the most adamant about this Eagles passing game. So I want to hear from you, sir,
Hey,
because I
you want
And
think
I
me to go
mean, he
first?
he he got to speak on Marshawn Lattimore too, because his boy got kind of abused out there.
That's they boy now. That's that's they boy.
Nah.
That nigga on the commander. Um, I mean, I think I kind of thought that they would break out the game before, but the elements kind of got in the way. So I'm curious to see what they'll do when they get inside. And then this most recent game, they just put a rushing bonanza on tape. What, six rushing touchdowns, records, yards. So it's kind of like that they only want to beat you one way, and then the last two games they were like, "Well, this is what we're gonna do. Can y'all stop it?" And they've shown that they can't. The Chiefs are supposed to be better than that. They're supposed to have a good front seven, and I think if they can make them throw the ball, it'll help them. But if they can't stop Saquon, which I haven't seen yet, I know Vance probably don't want to hear this, but they will be winning that game. Like the Chiefs just they've been able to find a way because no one has really had a thing that they can't. Like they were able to stop Josh Allen with that weak ass tush push, whatever they got. That we saw how stupid that shit is that Philly does, but it works. They sat on the 1 yard line for like 5 minutes of the game. Like I don't know if Kansas City even has had some shit like that thrown at them. If they can keep them, from Saquon not going first touch, probably not. We'll see. But if they can keep them in bounds and make them throw, I liked what I saw in the passing game. They designed, plays for Goddard and maybe a guy like Smitty will have to be an X factor because they're gonna put McDuffie on AJ Brown. He doesn't like when guys get in his face, and yeah, he kind of cooked Lad a little bit, but like we talking about probably one of the best corners in the game, so they can get him out, make him throw it, keep Saquon in check. I think it'll be interesting, and they might be able to win.
You
I
talking about like they the underdogs? Is that how you feel?
Wait,
That's
wait,
just how it sounded. How
who are you
you
talking
just
about?
said it. The Chiefs. You talking like the Chiefs,
No,
the underdog?
I'm just saying they have, to me, they have the most unstoppable player in the game on either side of the ball outside of Chris Jones. They haven't shown, no one has shown in the playoffs that they can do anything with Saquon. If he gets off, yeah, they're winning that game.
Okay, okay.
I
I
mean,
mean, it makes sense.
I just
Yeah.
think like I don't mean to talk about from the perspective of the whole team, right? I think the Chiefs are favored; they should be. But like, if Saquon is going to do what we just saw him do, I'm not gonna say obviously they have a chance, but like that's not gonna be a good recipe. That's gonna be highly problematic for them. If he's playing like he's the most dominant player at least, then I think they can win that game just because they have more firepower
Okay.
on offense.
definitely not what I expected. Not gonna lie, but at this point, like we talked about, like pro- process observation is for the regular season.
Right.
Postseason, it's just about getting it done. And like we talked about, they've been, regardless, home field advantage throughout the playoffs, not the prettiest. You feel like they've been playing with their foot down to the level of competition in terms of with the Rams, but they keep stacking wins. They're not here for a reason. I think the crux of the question, getting back to what Nick said, I think everybody with eyes has seen that Jalen Hurts this year is not the Jalen Hurts of 2022 when they made the bowl MVP form, the guy that was pushing the ball downfield and had some downfield accuracy. What the regression is, whether it's Sirianni, whatever it is, he just is not that same guy. But like you said, Nick, he did play his best football of the year in last game, but we've seen him be able to break out of form a little bit in terms of be a guy that can be a legitimate, like TJ says, not just be a point guard distributor, but it can be a guy that's throwing, be throwing guys open and throwing in the tight windows. So it's I'm kind of at a crux. We saw 17 games, 18 games of Jalen Hurts better in 2022, and even in the bowl in 22, yeah, 300 yards, I think 27 for 38, had a rushing touchdown. We've seen him at the peak of his powers from a pass standpoint, not be able to knock off Pat. So he isn't that good. He isn't as good as he's been at 22, but his team is better. Talk about Saquon and talk about the additions they made on defense. So I think for Jalen to be responsible for them winning, which I think if you're gonna beat the Chiefs, your quarterback has to be. The only time we've seen these Chiefs get beaten in the postseason is because the quarterback is the reason, whether it's Burrow or Tom Brady. I think that we're gonna see Jalen Hurts performing the way that the last time he looked like that was 2022.
I completely agree.
And I think a big play from that Commanders game was I can't remember if it was a 4th and 3, 4th and 5, but the go ball Jalen Hurts threw to AJ Brown to get the
Yeah.
first down, keep the drive going, get the touchdown. You think about just the culture of the Eagles up to this point, 4th and 3, 4th and 5, they're handing that bitch to Saquon. But for them to have the trust to put that ball in Jalen Hurts' hands and be like, hey, we trust you to make a play right here. And even in that Rams game, they had a crucial 4th and 3 to close out the game. He hit AJ Brown on the slant. So seeing some of those big time throws in the crucial moments for Jalen Hurts has given me confidence not only in their passing game, but their offense as a whole and their ability to morph to whatever the situation demands. And that's what I've seen over these first two playoff games from the Eagles.
It's just like a dichotomy. Like we know the Chiefs isn't the Chief team that was in 2020, 21, 22, 23, where you need to be able to get it. You have to expect the shootout with them, with the defense and the regression for Kelsey and Tyreek leaving. It's not, you don't expect that, but you need to be prepared that to put up 30, 35, 40 points. Well, they just won with 32. And I think that Philly had that versatility to, hey, if you want to get into a slugfest, you want to trade tush pushes, you want to trade, backs with this Pacheco, Mahomes, even using stuff with his legs versus Saquon, we can do that. But also we got the capacity. Like I said, I don't know if they can pull it out in that game in a couple of weeks, but they do have the capacity to go blow for blow with Mahomes and the Chiefs in a way that two, maybe three teams in the league do. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have looked good, but I also just want to question their playoff path in terms of who they beaten. They beaten the Packers. We saw everybody get injured for the Packers. They missing half the roster. Then you go play the Rams in the snow. The Rams aren't ready for the snow. They haven't seen snow all year, so why would they be ready for that game? And then the Commanders, which who came in hot. I must admit, Jaden Daniels was probably talent-wise the best QB that was left in the conference championship games in terms of just production this year. But with that being said, I feel as if they're doing what they're supposed to do. So the Chiefs are way better than what they're about to face, and this is a whole nother monster that they're about to see coming up.
Mm. And kind of before we move on to talking about the Chiefs, I kind of want to talk about just one little storyline that's kind of seemed to be a consistent theme with the Eagles all year, and that's the relationship with their coach, Nick Sirianni. After their conference championship win, Jalen Hurts was asked about, him and Sirianni's relationship and the comments Sirianni made on the podium, and he said,
"He's done a great job. He's done a great job. Yes, he let me on my straight jacket a little bit today."
This is a team that's about to match up with Mahomes and Andy Reid, one of the greatest quarterback head coach duos of all time. How do y'all just look at Nick Sirianni as the leader of this Eagles team uh, through the regular season and up to this point?
I mean, first of all, kind of a curious language to be talking about locking up a black man this close to February. That notwithstanding, I told you this before we got on. I really like the comparison that Booger made on the post game recap, comparing Sirianni to Ryan Day. Like we just mentioned, process observation in the regular season hasn't treated us the best, or we haven't been super fond of how they go about getting their wins. The fan base, again, similar to Ohio State, although you don't have that one rival game because they're kicking the hell out of the NFC East. You don't have that one game that you can point to in terms of this is what your season relied on. But in general, the fan base has had a higher level of dissatisfaction that you would expect for a team going to two Super Bowls in 4 years, 3 years, I guess. And again, I think that with all of the experience that we have, all of us can tangibly see, like, hey, if this wasn't the Boston Eagles, you didn't have the greatest AAU football roster, 53 man that you could put together, there would be a lot more flaws, and there would be a lot more vulnerabilities to this roster and the Sirianni than we could poke holes in. But that being said, only one man gets the job, and you don't. This ain't Madden. You don't get to hit restart. Or you don't get to postpartum evaluate the games. This man can continue to win at a high level and an elite level for a guy that we don't think is a great game manager or a great quarterback guru in the way that some of these hot burgeoning young coaches with a Kingsbury or McVay typically climb the coaching ranks. He's just going out there and winning. So while yes, I question his ability to deploy his guys, I do think that we have to give some credit to, his continuing to stack wins. Turn that to tune out the adversity, make sure that the only guys that the only focus that his is the guys within his locker room, and continue to stick to his guns, even if we don't think it's the best. So I will praise Sirianni for his consistency, even if I don't think it's the best way to be consistent in terms of his methods. But he has a system, his guys believe him, and it's led to the result that he's wanted. So he don't give a damn about Josh Crawford or what No Cap thinks. It's producing the result that he wants, and that's he's sitting in the bowl again.
Yeah, no, he showed he'll do whatever it takes to win when he bent Saquon from getting the rushing record, which is insane.
We care what you think, Josh. Don't worry.
But no, it's just I don't know. I guess like I continuously said, it's time up for evaluating. Okay, we don't like how you did it, but you got it done. Where Jalen Hurts had to go 11 for 27, 53 yards, 2 interceptions. But if they win a 9-7 game, that again would just speak to the ruggedness, nastiness, the ability to pull out any type of game regardless of how it looks. So at this point, I feel like that's just as big of his coaching identity than anything else. The ability to win non-aesthetically pleasing games.
No, thanks. And then I think when you're talking about Sirianni, a big thing to think about too is this is a team that started the year 2-2, bruh. Had a lot of questions around it, and that ship got right. And like you said, we see where they are now in another bowl. But let's turn the page. Let's look at that AFC Championship game for a minute before we get into our Super Bowl preview. And really, I just want to dive straight into this game and just see what were y'all's biggest reactions, biggest takeaways from that game. Obviously, this game had, I'm not going to say a lot of controversy, but there are a lot of things to talk about in that game, looking at some of the officiating, the worthy kicks, the 4th and 1, the 4th and 5, and just the Chiefs' ability to win again and again. So, what was just some of y'all's biggest takeaways, biggest reactions from that championship game?
Man, we're going on running on year 5, 6 now of just Mahomes things happening at Arrowhead. So I was not surprised. We saw all the answers came out for this game, but the Chiefs coming out with a win, refs cheating, Josh Allen doing some slaw. It's the same thing year after year after year. It's like watching a TV show, bro. Like it's really entertaining every single year. We all come together just to watch how it happens, but I think just from that game, it was nothing special happened. The Chiefs got outplayed, and they just somehow figured out a way to win
Did
that
they?
game. And they definitely 100% got outplayed on both sides of the ball. Their defense showed up. I will say that their defense, they did show up, but the offense did nothing special.
You sleep. The Chiefs offense, that was the first game I think the Chiefs offense showed up. That was their first time scoring 30
Like, I
plus all
mean,
year.
but what did they do to make themselves look special in that game?
Worthy broke out. I think Worthy definitely broke out because he's been on the edge between the receiver gadget guy, and we saw obviously the controversial catch. But even, the amount of looks that he's getting from Mahomes,
Oh
I wasn't
God.
big surprised if he had 10 targets, Nick.
Yeah.
But he's their number one, and this was the first, like you said, I think this is the first game that we saw him legitimately be Mahomes' first look and first read outside of Kelsey. With all the trust and the build up they got, he went back to him in crunch time situations. But this offense a significant portion is built around Worthy's speed and game breaking ability, which they had just kind of been teetering on. But like you said, I think this is the first game I saw them like really fully lean into it.
bro. And like I said in the group chat, bro, like a significant portion of the first two drives. I'm not gonna say it was every play on those two drives, but they were in two wide receiver sets. Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, not D Hop, not Juju, not any of these other guys. Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. So that shows you how much trust they have in those two guys. And obviously, I think the results played out. We saw Hollywood get hot early on with in that game with some RPO catches and things like that. And I think we're I'm not gonna say scratching the surface, but I think this Chiefs offense is hitting its stride at the right time going into the Super Bowl.
I mean, they are what 15-2. So I feel the offense has been pretty bad, but
And there's
I would
only one
say,
real loss because they set all their starters for Denver. So it's
yeah,
really like 16-1.
yeah. No. So they've been hitting their stride. They're winning these games, but in terms of just what happened, we all watched the game. The referees helped them in crazy ways that you would think we make this stuff up, but it happens week after week after week after week, and so it just has to be stopped. It's not going to be stopped this Sunday, but just from that game with the Bills, we saw what we needed to see.
I think it highlighted for me, you really, you have to be perfect to beat Mahomes in Kansas City. And then not even on the field. The refs got to be perfect. Honestly, the refs got to be more predisposed to rocking with the whoever's playing against Mahomes. And I think that the biggest thing that we all called out, the coaching has got to be perfect as well. We've seen Sean McDermott, put his foot in his mouth, literally in the media, but also on the field. But we all saw Joe Brady kind of melt, halfway through that fourth quarter.
Oh my
It has
God.
been gashing, the Chiefs. He was the most consistent offensive threat that you had all game with some of the stuff that we saw with Allen in the first quarter, and then. Like I said, with his legs, he did out of that. He didn't get a touchdown, but James Cook was the most consistent offensive threat that the Bills had all game. About midway through the fourth quarter, they was like, "Get tapped out, buddy." So
Oh
I
God.
think that people we throw it out there kind of cavalier, or we kind of like we joking, or we think that it's impossible. But you really have to play a perfect game to beat Kansas City on all fronts, and even having a quarterback that can go head up with Mahomes, having a team that having a defense that perfectly knows the antidotes to the Chiefs in terms of stopping their run game and kind of limiting what they can do playing man against Kansas City before Benford got hurt. But even like I said, just having the experience with these guys, all of these factors that Buffalo had, and one half a quarter brain fart from Joe Brady sunk their whole ship. So you got to be perfect on every front to beat them. And I don't know how many teams in any era are able of putting together a truly perfect game.
He did that the week before. He tried to do it in the second half against Baltimore. They had a little bit of lead. He's like, all right, guys, let's hand the ball off 30 times. Hope Baltimore doesn't come back. Of course, it didn't backfire because they ended up winning the game, but he was trying to throw the game away last week. This week, he kind of just like phoned it in. You had the tunnel screen to Amari Cooper for game. You got when the drive started, you had Ty Johnson in. And I'm tweeting, I'm like, why the hell is Ty Johnson in? You look at
Or
what
that third string running back type.
that's what I'm saying. Like you're not even like even Ray Davis has totaled the ball, but he couldn't even get a look. Okay, fine. You don't want to put the backup in, but the third string,
Oh
you act
God.
like James Cook can't catch the ball. This was like just to me is what stood out. Like they tried to do the shit last week against Baltimore. They had a lead. It wasn't that big. They weren't playing that well to kind of like it's like they phoned it in 2 second halves in a row, and they were playing with fire the week before, and it just seemed like his game plan was to hit Kansas City over the head with the football and Josh Allen battering ram them. But one, they saw that shit coming, and that's the wrong team to try to do that with. When you talk about a team that's grimy, they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna hit you just as hard as you're gonna hit them. They want it more than you. Like they do this shit. When you talk about winning the game by a field goal, a blocked extra point, a fumble, they do this. Why the hell am I gonna try to jam the Josh Allen peg into the Chiefs hole? Pause. It wasn't working. I was group, I was highly concerned on that last red zone drive when they pulled out that goofy ass speed option shit. That could
No
have gone
cap.
that could have gone so poorly. And then we'd be like, oh, whose idea was it? But because it worked, he probably sitting there in the booth like, oh well, I might try that again. Like
Nigga
that
damn
was
near got James Cook's
I'm about to
murdered
say this nigga had
crab.
to
come
turn into
on, bro.
Superman for it to work. It ain't like
Bro,
it was just perfectly
that
executed.
shit barely worked. That shit was an inch from not working. And he's like, all right, yeah, James Cook, appreciate it. Ty Johnson, let me holler at you for a second. And that's how they started the last drive. Brother, we haven't tried to throw Amari Cooper a tunnel screen. What year is it? It's 2025. This big 2021 playbook when he had the X Factor on Madden, buddy. Y'all talking about this ain't Madden? This ain't Madden, bro. You can't hit the Chiefs over the head. They try to do a back alley fight with the Chiefs. That's not a team you want to play that shit with. And he FAFO. Y'all know what that means.
No doubt. I ain't even gonna lie though, bro. Like, I knew the Bills was gonna lose in the first two drives, bro. Josh Allen threw 3 damn near picks in his first 2 drives. So I was like,
Right.
yeah, bro.
First 2
This
plays.
nigga,
He had it on his
He had
mind.
3 potential picks. I ain't never seen a second pass should have been picked twice.
No.
So nice.
That's the Josh Allen we know and love. Nick Wright said it on his show. It's like the Goblin Mask talking to him. He's been fighting this shit all year. He's like,
Yeah.
he just gets the yips when it comes to Mahomes. Nick Wright kept saying, he's like, he's going to do it. And it didn't even take one play. He's like, oh, what LeBron said? I'm going to make it another one. He was like, yeah, that didn't work. So the play where they had an offside, I'm sorry, it was a holding. He threw it to Keon Coleman. He pointed like he knew it was a hold. That
Oh
is
god.
absolute bullshit. He just threw that ball up there and hope he caught it. And they're like, oh, Josh Allen, he knew that it was a. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, the hell he didn't. He threw that shit. It's like he Keon Coleman down there somewhere. That's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy.
But talking about Josh Allen, we do need to start having that conversation though, bruh. Cause Mahomes kind of the grim reaper of niggas. I ain't gonna say
Ain't no
niggas
God.
gold jackets, but niggas legacies, bruh. So
Yeah.
like, he's what 6 straight AFC champ. Well, he's been to the AFC Championship every year. He's been a starter. He's been to
Yeah.
the Super Bowl damn near every year. So what is this Patrick Mahomes dominance run mean for the Lamars, the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows, the Drake Mays? Like, what does it mean for all of those guys?
Read Jim Kelly. I know,
Yeah.
ironically, it's, we talk about the Bills and their infinite perpetuity, at least in terms of actually securing a bowl. But they're gonna just be at least second tier, man. It's just a situation of wrong era, wrong time. I think that we all can clearly see what they could do. Like, I think that all 3 of those guys that you mentioned, in a world without Patrick Mahomes, those will be strong, best quarterback in the league candidates.
I,
And
I
no, I mean,
mentioned 4 guys though, Josh.
who's the? Should tell me who's the fourth one.
Drake May was the last one.
Pro bowler. Drake May.
That on God, Pro Bowl Drake May.
Get tweet.
Pro Bowler.
I'm already showing AFC
Worst
East
Pro
way too
Bowler
much
of
love
all
with this
time.
Josh Allen shit. Don't
Mac
even
Jones
get
was
me
a Pro Bowler gang too.
God, I don't care, man. Worst Pro Bowler of all time. Let's be for real.
Sam Darnold got it for me.
I would have
Sam
threw Will
Darnold got it
Levis
for
in
me.
there if I thought it was some Drake May for the free. Like, come on, it's so many options, bro. Oh
Fuck
man,
it. Fuck
Snoop Huntley
50.
was in the
Man.
Snoop Huntley was in the Pro Bowl, but fuck Drake May, huh? All right, cool, bro.
It's gonna be February, bro. Relax.
they could have gave it to a Make a Wish kid. He could have took a snap, bro. At that point.
Oh, that's fine.
Like, let's be for real, bro. You saw what JJ Watt tweeted. He said, I mean,
Participation mode.
yeah, at that point, yeah. Hey man, come on and get you a snap. It's okay.
Man, I mean, this should turn into an adult field day, so they might as well let him.
I'm about to say shit already dodgeball, flag football. I wouldn't want to send my quarterback out there any fucking way.
Bro, that shit in Orlando too, bro. That shit not even in Hawaii no more. That shit so ass.
Them niggas should take each other heads off during that shit, bro. That shit used to be a real game.
Taylor, bro, what's going
Bro,
on?
they used to kill each other. What happened to the game we love?
Thanks.
So
I ain't
much.
know niggas was ever Pro Bowl lovers, bro. I'm sorry.
Back when Odell and them, when they had the NFC all blue and the AFC all reds,
Yeah, nah.
that was a classic. That was a
It
classic.
meant something for real.
It used to, yeah, hell yeah.
All
They
games
didn't play for money.
He used to play for that fucking truck. I remember Russ won that whole 1 year. He won the MVP. Niggas was hot, boy. They was mad. The bitch at that shit.
Yeah, they need to play for a pot or something. Something has to change with that.
Fucking put the pads on.
They still ain't that money ain't motivating. I mean, we got a lot more.
I mean, how much would it
Alright.
made would it mean to you to play? You think if you was an NFL player?
We could Google worst Pro Bowlers. We could really talk about it.
500K, maybe.
Yeah. But
That
you,
might be a
like,
season.
500K
like,
for
look
a
at somebody
game
like
is
Zach
crazy.
Bond. Like, I don't know what
Yeah.
for him to be like a special teams practice squad guy. I don't know how much he's making now, but I could imagine, if you're making 500K straight up, no taxes. Yeah, let me go hit some shit for that. Like, this ain't the
500K for
NBA where
100 niggas
everybody.
kind of crazy though, gang. I don't know what NFL. I'm not probably watching the NFL, but 500K for 100 niggas is kind of crazy.
I mean, it's a lot of money.
Oh, no, I mean, no, you're right. I guess so. It's 50.
Well, how many people make it? Probably
I'm
like
about to
40.
say it's a 453 man.
It's not. No, it's probably like 40. I would say.
But I'm
I
I'm
would.
still saying, bro, two niggas that's a rack. That's a million, bro. So every two niggas that's a million. If you
You see
doing
all these damn
500K,
Yeah,
sports
they can
gambling
find the
ads?
money,
These
bro.
niggas got
Yeah,
it.
they can
These
find
niggas
the
got it.
money, bro.
I ain't
Maybe
fucking watching the
250.
That's more
NFL,
than
bro.
a season for some players. 500,000.
That's I feel you. 100. They could do like
They
150 for
need
the
some kind of
winning team,
incentive
75 for the
though.
losing team.
Yeah.
It
Some
need
kind
to
of
be like whatever conference win that team get the home field advantage for the Super Bowl. It don't even matter if
Yeah,
Eagles
they
die
get
or
to
Super Bowl.
decide the coin flip or
Because that's
something.
what
Hey, that
MLB.
would be hard. You
I'm
get
about to say
coin flip.
MLB does that. MLB, whatever team wins, they used to do. They get home field
yeah.
advantage in the World Series. Put something
Yeah.
on the line.
I feel it. We did. I feel it, but also I'm not jacking it. I don't know how.
Well, fuck it. I say put the pads back on. Do Oklahoma drills till somebody tap.
That is
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like it would be hard. Like I kind of like what TJ just said, bro. What if Pro Bowl was just like open practice, like 1-on-ones, like good versus good type shit,
Right.
bro? Like that shit would be wrong, cuz.
Yeah, it
That ain't
would
nothing
be.
but what the Senior Bowl is right now. Niggas going through that tape.
But you got in the team where you got people from all kind of levels. Can you imagine how pissed off Roquan Smith would be right now that they lost and just kill some nigga in the
Oh,
Oklahoma drill? He'd probably take somebody fucking Rydell off. There's niggas like that, bro.
oh
Just
god, like
pissed off.
Roquan versus James Cook, Oklahoma, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Derek Seeley has locked up Jamar Chase 3 reps in a row.
Them they gonna be fighting, bro. They fought in college.
yeah,
They gonna be fighting.
I like that, TJ.
Yeah, we'll get a panel. Let us host that shit. Fuck all that dodgeball and all that other shit. Let's take some.
Oh my God, we out here in shorts and
Nah.
t-shirts playing tug of war.
Hell nah.
Do they still do 40-yard dashes?
Not at
They
the
need to
Pro
bring
Bowl.
that back. Nah, they
That
need to
shit
bring
would-
that back.
That shit
Make
would
a
be hard at the
race.
Pro Bowl.
Hey.
Oh god, that shit would be raw, nigga.
I
Imagine
hate that stupid ass
imagine
band
a
they play with
race.
the quarterback.
Cheetah, A-Chain. Who else you throw in that bitch, bruh? One of them 49er
Birdie.
niggas.
They be talking they shit. You can't tell a nigga Michael Parsons he wouldn't beat them nigga in the race. Throw his ass in there too. He
Exactly.
loves talking about he'll beat them niggas in the race.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah,
They gonna
Xavier
be
Worthy,
with
shit, he
the
gonna
Oh
be in
yeah,
the Super Bowl
Xavier
every year.
Worthy. But yeah,
And fuck, throw Reek in that bitch too.
Everybody give Mike a 10-yard head start. Watch his ass get dusted.
Lamar
Shit.
dusting everybody, bro. My money on Lamar.
Shit, I might throw a JD5 in that too. You all right? Niggas on my say hamstring, like, oh fuck my hamstring. You know them bitches gonna start hurting.
Niggas gonna get that Derrick Rose flu. They ain't trying to have to get dusted on national TV for sure.
oh god,
That's
especially if you
crazy.
fuck around and throw speed in that bitch. Gonna be a lot of fucked
Oh,
up
like a little
hamstrings.
celebrity.
Nah,
That'd be hard.
Buddy,
Like a little
Buddy
celebrity.
is a 1% athlete. Did you see that he did the backflip on like the hand of
The
God?
hand of God, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, he playing with his life. He don't give a fuck. Bro jumped over like a Ferrari or some shit.
Yes,
That
bro.
was
On
moving
some
too.
Kobe
He's a
commercial shit in
1%.
real life.
No, he'll created 99 overall. Doing never mind. He gonna speak on the young. Hey, streamers get more money than the rappers at this point, so he might be in the right business.
Oh god.
But getting back to what we was talking about, I just think that really, what does it mean for Josh? Like I said, Josh Allen, Lamar, Joe, you're gonna have to do the Eagles form. You're gonna have to build that perfect squad, the most talented squad, to really go up against, because I think that like I said, I think we all agree that those guys are elite quarterbacks, but we've seen time and time again. We mean Joe got one, but he is the only active quarterback in the NFL to beat Mahomes in the playoff game. Like, you're not gonna find a quarterback currently in the NFL that's gonna come up and do that. And I think that you want to look at the trickle down effect to the draft. I would advise some of these rookie quarterbacks, stay your ass at the AFC. You saw what Jaden Daniels did. I did, but you saw, the success that he had as a first-year guy, coming in and playmaking and all that. I think that this is like, multi-layered ramifications of how cold this Antichrist is. He is really changing the dynamics of what is even possible, or what is, changing the trajectories of different franchises, because he's just so dominant. One time that we've seen like with the past, but I ain't gonna say nothing on that because they was actually cheating. So I just think that the only way at this point that you want to give your team, I should say legitimate. I think Cincy, Buffalo lost by 3 points. They have legitimate shots right now.
They done
But
lost
if you
4
want
times
to
in a
go,
row though.
They didn't want to win this game. I think when Nick said, you talk about Josh Allen throwing them two boneheads, they didn't want to win. He don't like beating Mahomes. They didn't want to win.
Only person that can beat him for real is Joe Burrow.
Burrow didn't give a fuck. He just went in there and just beat him. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't think about it too hard.
I love how niggas say Joe Burrow, bro. But that was the game Jamar pulled that Kevin Gates' little brother out, bro.
Oh, bro.
It don't matter, bro.
Well, they
He
I mean,
knows
defense
how to
it
locked
get
do,
up.
it
it
done.
doesn't.
The defense locked up. They didn't score after it was 21-3, and they went to over. They didn't score again. When
Yeah,
they popped Tyreek on that goal line stand before the half, when greedy ass Andy Reid tried to, instead of kicking the field goal, tried to
yeah.
score a touchdown, and he got his ass punished on the goal line. That's when the game kind of turned around, and then they didn't score after that. Mahomes threw 3 straight duck balls in overtime, and then Joe Burrow was like, "My crew, I got this. Let's go." And
No
then
cap. Over it. Over it. But I think it's time to talk about the big one ahead of us, bro. Talk about the Super Bowl, Eagles, Chiefs. First question I gotta ask y'all, bro. This is a game we saw what 2, 3 years ago, but
Mhm.
coming into this game, man, which unit? Talking about Eagles defense, Chiefs offense, whatever. Which unit will be the most impactful in bringing their side of victory come Super Bowl Sunday, man?
Ooh, that's a
It's
good
only two
question.
real ones to me. I mean, in both units, both teams are stacked on multiple units. You can legit argue all six layers on both teams. I think it's going to come down to KC passing game, Philadelphia run game. That's what's going to come down to. And they both have these cloaks of invincibility when you look at it. You got Mahomes. Nobody's going to stop Mahomes. There's not a probable formula to do it in a postseason. And even the way that they deploy it, it's not a lot of game plan you can do. Hey, let's run man against the two guys that run low 4 threes, or let's cover Travis Kelce, even though he makes up his own route every time. Like kind of like what we talked about with earlier. Like there's not a lot of game plan that you do, and the same thing with the Philadelphia run game. Oh, they like have 10 of they might have 5 of the top 10 linemen in the game right now, and a 2,000-yard rusher. Let's stack the box. Oh, they're just a lot bigger, more physical, stronger than us. And if God forbid, Saquon, if there's an open guy in the gap, Saquon's probably gonna jump over him, frontwards, backwards, run around him, or juke him. So those are the two units to where it's like what's coming, what's gonna happen, and yet how much leverage or how much can you do to stop it? So I think
I
those
mean,
are the
let's be for real though. Like, if there is a D line that can stop the Eagles, it's definitely the Chiefs. Like we
Mm,
saw what happened in the last game against the Bills. Chiefs won that front seven, run the
No
line of
cap.
scrimmage, and punished them. And
Stuff
so
that
even like
Josh
how
Allen shit too.
that shit was ass
that
though. Like Josh Allen don't even do it right. He just like pushing. He jumps. He tries to like. He doesn't even let the line push him. He kind of just grabs the ball and just runs to like a crevice, and then hopes they can just push him through it.
so I'm listen. I don't expect Saquon to be just like stopped anything like that. But if he can be slowed down enough to make sure the Eagles lose this game and put it on Jalen Hurts' shoulders, it's gonna be the Chiefs D line because we just saw how they got. Listen, we saw James Cook. He got off. He did his thing. But once they put the game in Jalen Hurts' hands, which I don't think Sirianni will be dumb enough to do that. I think he'll still give it to Saquon no matter how long it takes. But if there's
Mhm.
somebody that can slow them down, it's the Chiefs D line. I
So
texted
Vance,
y'all in the group chat asking y'all about it. Who's their D line coach? And
oh
so
yeah,
the way they was
Yeah, one of
moving,
y'all said his
man,
name. I forgot his name.
it was Joe Cullen. Joe Cullen, shout out to him, man. He might need to get a raise or something. The Cowboys should have hired him at that point. But anyways, the way their D line looked, I would say the Chiefs, the D line, their front seven is going to be the most important unit in this game.
man. I got a little trivia question for y'all, bro. I want to see where y'all minds at, man. Who is the last player to rush for 100 yards against the Chiefs in the playoffs?
ooh.
Mm.
Man, can we get a year?
I about to say I saw
Shit,
Mixon had 88 in 22 when they lost, so it's not that.
I hope
I
his
mean,
name not
it
about to
la-
say
the last
Danny
time
Woodhead.
the last time it wasn't in the 2020s. I'll put it like that.
sheesh.
Against
Oh, it
the
had to be
Chiefs
one of
in
them
the play.
Patriots running backs. Then it
I
had to
was
be
going to
like
guess
Blunt.
Derrick
It
Like
had,
Henry.
Garrett, like Garrett
it
Blunt?
had to be Blunt.
It wasn't not
Wow.
Blunt, but Patriots. Yeah, Sony Michelle 2018 was the last
Okay, yeah.
rusher to
Wow.
run for 100 against the Chiefs.
What? This
Wow.
nigga ain't in Georgia? What is that? What?
So
Only
What it?
lazy Aunt
What
Michelle?
is bro doing?
no, I want to say he retired, bro, because he had a little stint with the Rams.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want to say bro out the league, but the
I mean,
reason
he
I
was
brought that,
sorry.
no,
Yeah.
not at all. But the reason I brought that up is to say this is a team that's beaten Baltimore in the playoffs, beaten Buffalo in the playoffs, taking down, beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, they've seen high-powered rushing offenses time and time again. Have they seen Saquon Barkley? No.
Nope.
But I guess I'll ask y'all this: over or under Saquon rushing yards over under 100, bro. Y'all think he getting
Oh,
to 100?
over.
Mm.
Over. It might be off
I'll
30
say
carries, but it's
over.
over.
I'll say over 100, but I think it's under 4 yards of carry.
Yeah, it could be 25 carries, but like if they hold on to the ball and Saquon get them down the field and they push, what can you really do?
Yeah,
It's
under.
ugly
I mean
football,
over.
but like
Yeah,
you was talking about Josh, you was saying about process, like they don't give a damn. They'll push that shit. We just saw them do it. They could have
Yeah,
gave that ball to anybody on the 5. They letting Jalen Hurts run QB draws and tush pushing. They
yeah,
ran literally 10 minutes of our real lifetime away on the half-yard line. So bad to the point where they're like, we can give the other team a touchdown, right? If we wanted to. I don't even think any of us knew that was a thing.
not at all.
Oh God,
That's just
ref came in a real parent mode. Hey, stop that shit now.
Bro,
Like,
Hey,
he
no.
wasn't even making like official terminology calls. He was like, the other team has been warned. If they keep this shit up, goddamn it, we'll give the other team a touchdown. It wasn't
yeah,
like, how refs talk, like they talking like a professional. He was like,
Yeah,
all right, guys, you keep doing this. I'll show you, goddamn it. Like
nah.
if they have to do that shit, they have to tush push. They'll tush push all the way down the goddamn field if they have to. If they want to win that game bad enough, they'll do it.
I caution against that though because you look at what the Bills did coming out in that second half in the AFC Championship. They switched to that slower pace, more methodical offense. And to me, when you're playing against Mahomes, you need as many shots, as many cracks as you can get
I
because
agree.
on the other side, I'm not gonna say they're gonna get 6 every time, but they're gonna put together a productive drive that's either gonna end in points or gonna end with you being in bad field position. So I think that uh that game plan can in a way work against Philadelphia by limiting their chances because if you do that shit and you not putting 6 on the board, the Grim Reaper on the other side, and we've seen what he does when he needs to get some points. And we've seen
yeah.
how this offense has developed. So I would warn Philadelphia on living in that 1st and 9 they like to call it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it because I kind of just said that about Buffalo. They tried to hit Kansas City over the head, and this shit didn't work. Yeah, to your point, they don't have a Saquon, but like the formula is still the same. We just saw a team try to do that, and like they, so to speak, they ain't going. Or
Yeah,
that's their philosophy. Like Kansas City will win the game with 12 points, but they just beat the Raiders on Thanksgiving. I don't even think they scored 20 points. They literally like said a prayer, maybe not to God. They said a prayer to somebody, and then the ball just disintegrated. And then we're like, oh, there they go, devil magic again. Like that. On the flip side, they gotta win that bitch 11-7,
Yeah,
kick a couple field goals, and say a prayer,
yeah.
sacrifice somebody. They gonna win the game.
My home ain't familiar with Big God
Yeah,
whatsoever.
he said, God don't know you, boy.
Nah. And I think yeah, we talk about the talent, at least the I would say like with the Knicks, like like I said, the pure talent, the starting 11 that's gonna be out there. That's you're gonna like the matchup more often than not for the Philly defense. But just looking at, I guess, the dynamics of who you got. I think that with I don't know, just on some D line shit. The way that the D line for the Eagles are set up with Sweat, with Carter, with Milton Williams, they're more finesse pass rushers. You don't want to get you. They're want to pin their ears back and let you get in those third and long situations. Obviously, with Karlaftis and Chris Jones, they have the same patch of dynamicism, but they're more built, I feel like, to handle the run game and be able to
definitely.
put those opponents in third and long situations versus the Eagles, where they're going to rely on incompletions or negative plays to make that happen. And we know how good Mitchell's been. We know how good DeJean has been. They got the other white boy. They got the crazy ass nigga CJ. But just if you look at 1-to-1 with the Eagles secondary, are you really confident in two rookies going out there and limiting Pat Mahomes in the pass game? Reed Blankenship, you're cold. You play in the box a little bit. But yeah, are you gonna cover that deep third when this nigga pulls some shit out his ass that you ain't never seen a little Middle Tennessee State? So I
Shit,
think
you
that it's
pointing the
been.
blame in the wrong direction, gang.
What you mean?
CD Deuce the worst cover nigga they got. Travis Kelsey
I
finna
mean,
Yeah.
have a
not
field day in
well.
my opinion.
No, I mean, I threw him in there at the beginning, but no, you right. He is a lot more plausible to do some crash
More
shit.
talkative than productive at this point.
But no, I just think that again, I think the Eagles will be in more trouble if their front seven is not as disruptive. And then you talk about like getting past truly the D line. That's like the motor that makes the engine go. Like, Orion Burks has been cool. Boy, Zach Bonner's been cool, but these aren't guys that I feel like you're lining up. If you had to flex to nickel, like, hey, we got two linebackers that can cover sideline to sideline. We're comfortable shutting down the room with just these two linebackers. I don't think that they're set up in a situation like that. So, yeah, the Eagles, they got a lot of talent, but I do see some exposable holes. Paul's kind of crazy. Where, I can see Mahomes finding, how Andy does. If he finds how Belichick used to be, if he finds something that's going to work against you, he's going to keep running that shit back. And I see some exploitable personnel groupings that the Chiefs could, easily get after.
Yeah, if Zach Bond turns back into a pumpkin, it's gonna be a long night.
Like, if Sweat's not getting, I mean, we know, Kansas City's O-line and the troubles they had, this ain't no guarantee. But if Sweat's not getting home, if Carter's not getting home, if Nolan Smith's not getting home, you're gonna have some gaps whether they try to run zone or they're gonna have guys separating with Hollywood and Worthy. There's gonna be there's gonna be several opportunities for chunk plays. And what did we just talk about? Hey, you want to keep Mahomes off the field as much as possible with the Philly offense with Saquon. They have a good shot at doing it. But even when the offense is on the field, you don't want to make things easy for them. You want to put them in those 11, 12, 13 play drives. And I think that we'll see more 6-play, 75-yard drives than 12, 13 play, 84-yard drives.
We're forgetting about Jordan Davis, who I forgot about till I seen him the other day on the field. I completely forgot about bro.
They opened up Brandon Graham's practice window too.
Yeah,
He may
sure
be
did.
coming back.
Talking about Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, I'm not very confident they're going to have the performance that people think they're going to have in the Super Bowl. Because if you look at this Chiefs team, the strength of this O-line is in the middle. Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith. Obviously, they bumped Tooney out to tackle to put a Band-Aid on things, but this is one of the better interior O-lines in football. Obviously, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, different beasts, but I think this O-line is better equipped than anybody else the Eagles have faced previously to deal with the pressure that they can create with their front four.
Listen, I agree with Jordan Davis, but I think Jalen Carter's a different monster when it comes to things. I think he's
I was just saying the fact that he was like the higher pick, and we don't even like talk. Like, I completely forgot he was even on the team. Like, I'll take Jalen Carter, but like I thought that was crazy. Like, Jalen Carter was supposed to be the understudy. Jordan Davis was supposed to be the next biggest thing, and I'm like, damn, bro, still on the team. I completely forgot about Buddy.
Nah, facts.
Speed demons, boy. Speed demons.
But I gotta ask y'all though, man. Last time we saw Jalen Hurts in the bowl versus Mahomes, played a pretty damn good game to Josh's point.
Yep.
Do y'all think he has to replicate that performance in order for the Eagles to even have a chance, or?
Listen, yes, I'm gonna say yes, but only for the fact of when it's his time to make a play, and then Saquon couldn't get it done on first and second down, and it's third down, fourth and goal to go. You better make them plays, Jalen, or else y'all will lose this game.
Yeah, true.
I think that, like I said earlier, we see that it takes multiple layers of perfection in order to beat the Chiefs. But like I said, just going back on history, and the one example that we do have that where a mortal knocked off Mahomes, Joe Burrow. And looking at Joe Burrow's stat line, I mean, it wasn't a crazy masterful performance. 27 to 38, 60 QBR. T. Higgins had 100 yards, Mixon at 88. But like I said, we've seen with somebody that's done it before, it don't necessarily have to be perfect per se. And I think that goes right along with Vance's point. Like, it's going to be 5 to 7 plays for Jalen Hurts are going to determine whether or not he's going to be a positive or negative in terms of them winning. Like you said, those third and longs, those ability, whether it's with your arm or with your legs, you're going to have to be a playmaker and not just a distributor, like how TJ said. I really like that point. And if he can, go 5 for 7 in these 7 plays, you go 4 for 77 plays to move the chain, get into the end zone, things like that, then I think that'll be the true testament. But if he goes out there and he could go 25 for 32, but if those mid 7 are the 7 big plays, you'll be able to tell who was stat line to watch and who watched the game.
Yeah, I agree, Vance. I think they're gonna have to make Jalen Hurts beat them, and on his end, he has to win that game. Saquon is only going to take them so as far as he can go, and it would be the most obvious thing in the world if they try to give him the ball 30 times, and for some reason it didn't work. Jalen Hurts $50 million man. You just went crazy in the Super Bowl a few years ago. Shout out to Rihanna. When he seen her, he went crazy. Like, that was probably his best game. And then what a time to do it. This is gonna have to be, maybe he won't have to replicate it, but he damn sure can't. Whatever that shit about straight jacket and they finally let me. Is this what y'all wanted to see?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they're all that villain shit. Throw that out the window.
There's
Take care
been
of the
times he
ball.
had to make those plays, and he wasn't
Like,
making those plays. That's why A.J. Brown reading books on the sideline now.
I'm saying, cause you want us to give you a cookie. They paid. This is what they paid you for. They paid you $50
Yeah.
million and they want to hand the ball 30 times. This game, you have to show them, we wanted to win with Saquon because we could, not because we had to. Because if they go out there and be like they only got as far as Saquon took them, this will get ugly, and it'll get ugly fast.
I mean, who are we to say the Chiefs not going to stack the ball? All he got to do is complete it to some of the best one-on-one receivers in the game. But when you think of A.J. Brown, a slant could be a crib from 80 yards out with A.J. Brown.
Little Megatron.
Dallas Goedert, a
Oh
great
God.
possession catch receiver.
Yeah.
So when it comes
Smitty.
down to things like
Smitty got great body control.
can you complete them passes? Yes or no?
To kind of like move this forward, we're talking about the big names. We're talking about the Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Saquons, but there are gonna be 22 guys on starting for each team on either side of the ball. So I gotta ask y'all, who is a non-big name guy who you think will have a significant impact, be an X factor in this game?
Mm.
The Eagles have a first round receiver, a top 10 pick that he's basically career trajectory of a scrub. But Jahan Dotson, I mean, he was a top pick. He played well in Washington. If they want to throw him a couple balls, there's always that one guy in the Super Bowl that gets off, and you're like, oh shit, where he come from? Like,
Juwan Jennings.
you know what I'm saying? Like, they had him waiting in the wings. He's a first round talent. No one will see it coming. He can still play. He got to catch the other game. So they throw him a little crazy right on the goal line. People gonna be like, damn. I mean, McCole Hardman won the game for the Chiefs last year. So
Yeah.
Nice nice street clothes in that this year. So
yeah, big scratches, big healthy.
no, you're not lying. I'll go. I'm gonna do a two-part one because one guy is pretty known. We talk about the damage that this Eagles run game gonna do. Is gonna do. I said it correctly. You know, the main mitigated factor is gonna be a guy like Nick Bolton. How many times can he get Saquon down in the open space in the second level? You know, how many times can he, essentially make the play before he gets going downhill by shooting gas, playing up the top of guard, stuff like that. And I know personally, when you got guys like Becton and I don't know, Landon Dickerson, he's always been an interior guy, but you got a guy coming in that's always been a lifelong tackle, moving down the guard. Some of the nuances in the run game are gonna be some of your more problematic areas for a guy going from tackle to guard. So I think that Mekhi Becton is all of 500 fucking pounds, but I do think there is exploitable ways that Bolton can, especially if they're the inside zone and all the A gap, B gap stuff that will be right behind Becton, I do see a way that Bolton could at least mitigate some of the stuff that Saquon is going to do. But for me, this has been a guy that you got to call out that you got Chris Jones, but for some reason, Tavarius Wharton always finds a way to make a splash pay when again, we know how the O line is going to be fulfilling in terms of especially on the edge with Malata and Lane Johnson. So you almost have to expect some sort of regression from Chris Jones, from Jones and Karlaftis. But with the three interior guys and with like Van said, Joe Cooley, he just produces like technicians, and I think Wharton is the perfect example of that. So whether you're gonna be sliding to Karlaftis, you're gonna be sliding to Chris Jones when he lies him on the edge. If you give Wharton too many one-on-one blocks, I do think that that's something to be exploitable. And then you'll look up and you'll see a guy that I still don't know what college this nigga went to. A guy that nobody knows what college went to, have 3 TFLs and 1.5 sacks, and now you're looking at in the third quarter like, oh, who's your potential defensive MVP? And it could be Wharton.
Yeah, I do not hate it at all. Listen, my pick is gonna be somebody I guarantee y'all never heard of in your life, and that's Ron Tolbert, Kansas City Chiefs official referee for Super Bowl 58.
Oh, you talking about the black dude with the glasses?
No, he's the referee of the game. That's gonna be the key guy you guys have never heard of, X Factor for this game for sure. It's pretty even on both sides, I must say. That's gonna be the X Factor. How he finds a way to fuck the Eagles.
Then had some crazy shit happen in that building, boy. You had the no call, you had the lights go out. The dome is a nutty place, boy. The ghost of Bill Vinovich is it's in there. So Treshaun Wharton went to Missouri S&T. I have no idea what that is, what it stands for.
Was that science and technology?
Gotta be.
I ain't gonna lie. I want to say one of them last chance you niggas went there, bro.
Yeah, Missouri S&T Miners, Great Lakes Valley Conference.
Shout out to that nigga. Shout out to that school. Look where
He's
he is now.
he's a Missouri lifer. So he's from Missouri, went to high school, and so that's why he plays so hard. Shout out to him.
No cap, bro. So guys, I think it's that time. It's time to make them picks, bro. How y'all feeling for this game?
Ooh, yeah. The power of Satan propels this nigga. What's the spread? 1.5?
Yeah, 1.5. Yeah.
Stressing, twin.
Come on, buddy. Somebody got to do it.
30-27, Kansas City Devil Worshippers.
I can't bet against Mahomes either. I like the Chiefs, but I like it a little bit lower scoring. Give me Chiefs 24. 24-17.
I like the Chiefs too. I'm thinking about the same thing, but it's gonna be something weird happening. Give me Chiefs 22, Eagles 21.
Score got me shit.
Bro,
Brother.
It's okay.
Give me the man of God to end this devil worshipping foolery. Jalen Hurts said he had a purpose before they had an opinion. Give me Hulu has live sports by $1 million. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Rain, sleet, or snow, Eagles trained to go.
Somebody got to do it.
That's so ass, bro.
The Houston Q. I heard he gonna retake them dreads on just for the game. That's what I heard. He said he kept them just for this.
I ain't gonna lie, he win. He gonna be hopping around like he lost his damn mind for sure. He gonna be throwing up the hooks like we ain't never seen.
The Eagles got to put on for Buddy that died at the parade. Rest in peace to him. Gilly gonna be in that hole going crazy, boy. They finna turn it up down here.
No
shout out to Don Julio, official sponsor of all the shit the Chiefs gonna eat. So if you see something crazy going on their side of the field,
Popeyes Don Julio box after winning the Super Bowl would go crazy.
Nah, I heard that's the Chiefs pregame meal. They say they gotta eat that shit before just to make it fair.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Mahomes so not like us. He gonna touch that shit. Is gonna sting.
Mahomes eating a Popeyes Don Julio meal before Super Bowl
Extra
might turn that nigga into Lamar Jackson, bro.
They said Pat Mahomes Sr. driving the bus. They said Pat Mahomes driving the bus. Mahomes Sr. driving the team bus.
Kelsey gonna eat that shit before Mahomes.
That gonna be on bourbon again.
Oh, too soon.
Man, we all lame, bro. We're not lame. Just I feel like I don't know. Like you want to balance that correctness with just the inevitability. It's like, bro, man, we ain't seen this nigga's flattening shit. No cap. Hey, 4 flats. Like he out there really laying shit down in this, logic versus matters of the heart. I think that I don't know. I ain't gonna speak for the whole group, but we would all love to see the Eagles win. But I just think that when it comes down to crunch time, I would. But,
we all can't. It never ends well when we all pick the same team. So even if I wasn't going to pick the Eagles, I was going to pick the Eagles.
I appreciate you that y'all just accepted reality. So
I don't see the Eagles. I just can't visualize it. But like, if I had to pick, it was the same shit when we talked about Commanders versus Lions. I couldn't visualize them winning. But I mean, they won. I can't see it, but it might be out there written: rain, sleet, or snow.
Vision blurry. I can't. Yeah,
I can't see it, but my vision ain't the best. So
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't know what it is with like Philly, bro. It's just like Philly sports. I just don't want to see them do good, bro. Like
they're just not good people.
Sixers, I'll spit on them, bro.
Oh no,
I can roll with they're not good people for sure.
They're not good people. Eagles fans are awful.
Not on freeway, but that's the only good. That's the only positive thing out of Philly that I jack with on a regular basis. Like it's the outside. I just, they got too much New York shit.
Them nut bulls, as they say.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell Jalen Hurts make me a chopped cheese after the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Come on, bro. He from H-Town, bro. He from H-Town.
He said he know how to make crawfish.
Get down. light
You see
skin,
that video? He a crawfish kind of connoisseur, bro.
a
I'm
light
gonna send
skin
y'all the
Q,
video.
a
Yeah.
light skin Q with his diamond dance. He's the chosen one. He must end this bullshit. Free us.
So
Yes.
Jalen Carter and Patrick Holmes Sr. walks into a bar.
Last one out was a rotten
Never
egg.
mind.
Last one to
Fast
the
and
door.
Furious 8, 9, 10, whatever fucking number them niggas on.
They gonna do the halftime show. They got a race at halftime. Are they gonna do the little thing where you drink the beer and do the bat thing? You spin around 10
Around and
times.
shit.
And then Jalen Carter gonna be in a F1 official track hall tracking that shit like just like old time. That nigga be no looking down out there.
He got a reboot card. Y'all got him fucked up. He got
Any
med kit.
episode, bro, so I can say what I
Double
want.
driving like it's GTA.
Hey, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all stay locked with us. We gonna be live tweeting during the Super Bowl, all that. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow us on the socials, and shit, man. We out of here, man. Go get that new Taylor Swift and shit. Go Chiefs.
Julio.